So
as Robo starts
yeah.
the game. Oh,
We'll give it to Robo, and he can launch it.
and that is exactly what he's doing. And yeah, sorry for missing about half of that last game. It was super epic to speed through, and I'm sure it was epic to watch. But we are now last series of the day. Secret, definitely what I would probably call the fan favorite team. Got Viper, Doubt, and Tato. Starting over here on Rift Islands, got the Viper, the legend himself, in the yellow, as the Vikings in the pocket. On either flank will be Tato as the Red Spanish in the south, and then our Lord and Savior Grassed Out over in the north. Their opponents, definitely the underdogs here, but certainly interesting to see how they'll perform. We'll have Eddie as the Blue Italians on the top flank. Pocket will be Matthias in the Cyan as the Vikings. And the south flank will be Green Malians for Hera.
Malians on this map, well, they can't really contest on water in the end. So this is kind of surprising to me. This is one of the, I don't want to say bugged maps, by the way, but the distance of Hera against Shadow kind of invites for a lot of land aggression early on, which actually should be pretty good for Hera here. So lucky for him. Otherwise, it could get really tricky. Like, long plans for Malians on this map is something I don't really see. I think this might be a wrong civilization pick.
Yeah, sometimes we see Malians picked on water maps from time to time. I'm never too sold on it just because they're so weak on water in the late game, not having Bracer, not having Shipwright, or I think even Fast Fire Ship. Like, it really sort of limits you in what you can do. And then, as we saw on that crazy long Serengeti game, Malians can struggle to find stuff to do on the land in the late game too. So we'll have to see what Hera decides to do here.
Off the game, I'm getting absolutely crazy at the moment. I have a lamp with a remote control in my room. And it seems like someone in the same building bought the same remote control and is working on the same frequency. So sometimes just my lamp is turning off and on, and I'm always doing the same. So it feels like we have long distance fighting in my house about light here at the moment. Super weird.
Oh boy, well, it's a true test of will today for the ECL cast, Nilly, and you gotta tackle these challenges.
Okay, so what can we say about Saracens? We said, well, Hera, Malians, that's not too good. And Saracens is a civilization we very rarely see. That will be kind of interesting because this isn't, well, most of the time you're going for civilizations that have eco bonuses. That's something we don't really see from the Saracens. Yeah, they're incredibly strong on late water, but still, I love this pick.
So, obviously you weren't here earlier, Nilly. This is actually the same map where we also saw Saracens. It was, I believe, Backed playing Saracens for VNA. Didn't end up working out too well, as he was actually in the exact same position where he was Saracens on the flank versus the Italians. And the Italian player, forgetting who it was on SY, but they just kind of smashed Pact on the water, and they weren't really able to recover from that. So we'll have to see if Doubt's going to have a bit more success here. But, I mean, their late game power is felt on both land and water because you have the faster firing galleons in the late game. And, of course, you have Mamelukes and Siege on land. So I'm definitely interested to see how this turns out.
Yeah, Mamelukes and Siege, that's kind of the dream scenario here. Let's see if we get to that long end. Oh, look at that. That looks like a big team wall here for Mr. Doubt. And together with the Viper, looks over to Tato, who's also going for some walls. But that's a lot of area to wall here. I think this is too ambitious. Don't you think so? That's just too big of an area. How can Tato ever hold this?
I mean, CL would be really disappointed in that statement, Nilly. There is no space too big to wall. But yeah, I honestly kind of agree with you. I mean, this is a map that you really want to optimize your early game as much as possible, just because there is a water element to it in the flank players are so close to each other by water. So, I mean, the fact that Tato, well, I guess Tato's still going to be up first, and that might give him a nice edge over Hera possibly, but we'll have to see, because that is a lot of wood and villager time spent on this wall.
Oh yeah, and we should maybe do the math there, but that feels like the dock should be super delayed. Fireship production shouldn't really run. He's late on gold now. I don't even see a villager going forward. Look at interesting. The only good thing working for him is that he is denying the villager of. Oh, he is not. Look at what Hera just did to Tato. Oh boy, sweet move there, walling in the spearman.
Rip that spearman. All he wanted to do was run around and scout. Now he's going to spend his life poking away at the palisade until he probably dies to a fire galley. But in more impactful stuff, there's also a team wall coming in for Team Heresy. So both teams opting to make the Great Wall of Rift Island over here.
Whoa. And what a great wall. All stone wall now as well. Do you even have enough stone to wall this? Tato is basically going down to 0 stone with all those walls. That's just so hard. And like, if he's stonewalling this, then the others two have to stonewall as well. This will be an enormous investment for them. It looks funny on the minimap, but actually both teams are going for the full team wall. But for now, Heresy only with the palisade wall approach.
Yeah, and you know, this strategy, it's obviously was planned in advance, I feel, for both teams. Like, they definitely, going into this game, they planned on doing this sort of mass walling stuff. So that I guess begs the question, why not pick Mayans or something? Just because that's a lot of stone walling you're going to have to do right there, and maybe that would save a bit of resources. There is a little bit of a fire galley scuffle going on at the north of the map, though.
Mayans would be a nice civ, but you can only pick a civilization once, and maybe on Sahara or Serengeti they could be even stronger, so probably saving that for the later, even more land-based maps, I'd say. Let's take a look. The difference of feudal age timing between the Viper and Matthias is pretty enormous here. Fishing ship count is better for the Viper as well. He has just so much of a better start, and that's with the stone investment as well. Solid job by our Norwegian superstar.
Yeah, of course. And that was also, as people in chat were ready to point out after Viper lost the Vil, luring a Rhino. So, yeah, just really solid start here for Viper. I mean, it feels a bit much to say that he's been carrying Secret, but I mean, I think he's definitely been a very large factor in their success up to this point.
Yeah, well, he won a 1v1 tournament, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's just incredible just for them. And, well, then the 4v4s, they played so well there with the team strategies and have to be happy. Well, only one quote-unquote disappointing tournament for them for now. And let's take a look. First fight coming over, and that was a pretty good demo hit here at the left-hand side to start off the action. Hera eating a big one against Tato.
Yeah, it's, of course, you really sort of precarious micro situation. Don't want to lose too much HP to these demo reps. Kind of want to force them to engage into just like one fire ship, because they don't even kill one fire ship, and that's just not a valuable trade. But it seems like, yeah, Viper's going to be way faster to the castle age than Matthias, so we might be seeing the longboats come out quite quickly here from our Norwegian player.
Potentially. Doubt still only with palisades. Okay, now he is finally starting to stonewall. So that's an interesting approach. The question is, what will we go for afterwards? Tato could maybe go for conquistadors. Maybe it's just all water and longboats. Well, who will go for how many longboats and at what point? Going to the right-hand side, Dowd is doing pretty well against Eddie here on water. That's not too surprising. Hera and Tato, somewhat even, I'd say. So if they really wanted to contest water, Matthias needed to go to the north first.
Yeah, that would be my guess as well. And I'm still interested to see the justification for the Saracens pick. I was thinking earlier that maybe Byzantines wouldn't be a bad pick in this situation because they have the better fire galleys in fire ships in the early to mid game, and they're still in the civ pool. So you can kind of use that as like a check mark for one of the civs that you have to play. But Viper throwing down the docks here in the middle of the map. Going to see some longboats coming out from our yellow player.
Oh, center control, interesting. Maybe going for some rally control after that. And indeed, I honestly believe bites and teams, people really haven't figured out how strong they are. Because, we see mass fire galleys every single game. So a civilization that has better fire galleys is like a civilization that has cheaper villagers.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're so underplayed as far as water maps go, because you even have the Greek fire tech now to give you that extra range, so you can kind of chase down enemy ships that much more easily. So I think that's, I don't know, something I'd like to see more of in the future. But as far as this game goes, you got longboats coming out here from Viper. Not going to find a whole lot for the time being, because his counterpart in Matthias will be his longboats over here on the right side, helping out his teammate in Eddie, who is, I guess it should be said, probably not known for his water map play.
And you know who's also, like Eddie isn't known for his water play, but you know what he's known for. Monkeras and Italians, they don't perform too poorly there. So let's see, not spotted from any secret member just yet, and doubt, well, he didn't finish those walls yet. Let's take a look. I want to see a siege workshop. I want to see a monastery and some Eddie magic.
Yeah, I mean, this is Eddie, right? Never, ever add TCs, just monks and siege all day. And, well, the longboats from Matthias will help regain water control for Eddie, at least, if not, giving him much ships to work with, at least he'll have those less units, on his back. Viper, though, realizing where his counterpart is, going to be marshaling his longboats, and I assume we'll be seeing a lot of arrows flying at each other very shortly.
Most likely. How's the boom looking at the moment? The Viper, he is sitting at 2 TCs. Matthias, he is going for 2 TCs as well, so looking pretty similar. Center control, better for the secrets. I think we only need to look at Eddie at the moment and what he can do. And he is in against Doubt. Let's see what his reaction is.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, pretty good micro so far from our Cyan player Matthias. Going to be taking out most of Doubt's ships right there. Probably doesn't feel like he can take Viper's army comfortably right there and will be retreating for the time being, but he does have some reinforcements waiting in the wings. And if Viper isn't paying attention, he could be losing some free longboats right here. Careening actually coming in for Viper will help a little bit versus the arrow fire. Looks like a little bit of an even trade so far.
But who is reacting to Eddie? Doubt is building a TC. Is someone going for any army against Eddie here?
Why would you ever need an army? Also,
okay, you can just die.
And now you know why I'm not 2K. But yeah, I mean, especially with this hill right here, this could be a really nice position for Eddie to take right in front of the Viper's base if he sees some more buildings come forward. Siege workshops, monks, all that stuff. Italians do have nearly fully upgraded monks, and ironically just missing the Heresy upgrade. And yeah, Viper's going to be losing quite a few villagers already. He has absolutely nothing to deal with this. Does he even have a barracks?
Boy, and wasn't that the first X? Did they maybe not realize before that? And now you see the X here as well. They probably didn't even realize before.
How could you not realize? Like,
Doubt.
Doughty. Oh no.
That was that was such a good impersonation. I just checked TeamSpeak.
Well, I do impersonations in my off time. It's all good.
Okay, that was shocking to me. I honestly, my head just went to TeamSpeak, and I was like, "Why is he? Where is he?" Oh God. Okay.
Well, Viper's
Doubt
DC is starting to
get the walls now.
Die. Okay.
Quiet.
Quick wall coming in here for Doubt, or quick gate rather, but that will be at least enough for the time being. But it's still a fairly low HP gate, and the Mangonel will actually get the downhill bonus. So yeah, things are going to be looking really rough. Viper's impressive army of longboats is not exactly useful at defending his own base on the land.
Eddie just losing the barracks and now losing everything that he owned. Kind of his first starting base, killing himself. He just killed his own spearman and his own monk there. That just hurting another villager. What is he doing? He is on a full suicide mission here.
Oh man,
Oh
Eddie.
boy.
Spending too much time on Tinder in game. Can't focus. But yeah. I guess I'm starting to send the mangonels towards the base of
Water
Dow.
fight Matthias just losing everything on water. Sorry for interrupting you, but that just looked pretty ugly for our teal player here. Matthias, he was going for a big water approach, didn't really do that too well. He is still 10 villagers behind the Viper, although he needed to defend so heavily. That is quite surprising to me as well. Like, only sitting on 3 TCs here, but he's somewhat looking towards Imperial Age.
Yeah, that is kind of odd as well, and really, I mean, this is just a testament to how good the Viper is. Even after losing all of those villagers to the aggression from Eddie, he's still in a pretty good spot economically, and he's still going to be our first player to click up to the Imperial Age. He has a defensive castle, he'll be A-OK. Doubt's getting up his own defensive castle, and I do not think this will be a Doubt castle, so to say. I think he'll probably be fine defensively.
Yeah, he will get it up for sure, lose some villagers, but that's totally planned for him. And well, that's actually some more villagers even. What is this guy doing? What is it? How does he make it happen? Oh boy.
Okay.
That was 10 more villagers than necessary.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a Doubt castle, but still got it up in the end. And yeah, I think despite losing some villagers there, he's still going to be doing a really nice job pushing on water, and the fishing ships of Matthias are probably going to be in jeopardy right now.
Yeah, probably that doesn't look too good. He's still trying to micro his art out. At the same time, Teddo's moving in with light cav here against Eddie, whose score isn't that impressive. Yesterday, some spearmen did convert some villagers, so that's good for him. But it feels like the AM guys kind of are safe, but the gate is actually still open. Doubt still didn't rewall.
Of course not. Why would Doubt do that? That's ridiculous. But okay, he will probably get the rewall up eventually. Eddie actually going to be also clicking up to the Imperial Age by taking advantage of that cheaper Italian age up. Hera, he's been kind of quiet this game, but that's just because, well, Viper's kind of totally owning his navy in the south. And really, I think we should hopefully be seeing why pick Malians right now, particularly because they are such a strong land civ on potentially other maps.
Yeah, well, the boom is still good. He felt like, okay, if all my buildings are cheaper when it comes to wood, maybe my early grass could be nice. My boom in the pocket position is great as well. They are truly a strong civilization. It just feels like they're even better on some of the other maps. And that's the same reasoning why I didn't want to see Malians here as well. So, yeah, he needs to make something happen now. He's preparing the patterns, is preparing the cavalry attack.
Yeah, and you know, the fact that you have the cheaper wood cost on the buildings and you have the free gold mining upgrade, your Grush is solid, but it's just a matter of how good are you as the game goes on, because we are dealing with 31 civilizations now, not just 18 in AOC, so you know, you really have to, I think, justify your civ picks a lot better now than back in the old days.
Yeah, true. Okay, Tado now sees the Cavaliers. The Viper was around with his longboats, might even intercept the patterns. Let's take a look at that. That could obviously be super ugly. And Hera, don't tell me will he get in? It looks like the Viper isn't really paying attention. Oh, tricky moment. Don't tell me they get sniped. Oh, it's qualified walls anyways. And pattern number 1 is down. But number 2 is completely unimportant after that. Even running back wants to die on open field instead of the walls. Oh boy. And now Hera is completely useless. He won't do anything.
Hera's literally not doing anything at this point. There is nothing he can do. Viper has all the map control he could ever want. He's actually investing in some demo rafts, interestingly. Vikings get fully upgraded demo ships, right?
Demos? Well,
Demos,
they
right.
will go for longboats anyways. You don't
Well,
need
Viper just
demos.
has some demo ships, which is,
Oh.
I thought, I guess, interesting why he'd just make a few of those. Maybe considering the land units as a possibility. Tato, meanwhile, he's probably going to be going down the cavalry line. He has some stables. Oh, there's a random spearman in the back of the Ace of Tato.
I'm still eyeing at the forward here of Eddie, who now converted himself some Mamelukes, is building a castle with only 2 villagers. I think that the Viper, though, should just get 1-2 traps out and should clear this up. Cloud is on the way to Imp as well. Eddie, well, he is actually Imperial Age as well, so maybe some traps could be rolling for him. He's only at pop 105 though, and maybe could have worked on opening the walls so that Hera could get in. What's so funny?
Oh,
What? He's converting trade cards. Ah, okay.
oh, okay. What a meme. What a meme. Yes, here they are. But I think your point is actually really important there, Nilly. Eddie's had a ton of opportunity, I think, to make sure that there is a hole in the wall, and then Hera could, bust in without the need to have the petards there. And the fact that, well, they're just now working on the wall is, I think, a ton of wasted time where Hera's got these fully upgraded Malian Cavalier that can't really do anything, and Doubt now even has fortified wall.
Yeah, as he should. So buying some more time, 1.6k HP. We have a big engagement here with Matthias against Viper, though. Let's take a look. Demo hits could be pretty big. Let's go into the point of view of Matthias. That could be so big. The demos are there, and bam!
Oh my god!
Hallelujah! And the timing there was so sick.
Oh my
Oh
god!
boy.
Today is not disappointed, Nilly. In terms of epic moments, Viper just has so many longboats right now. 57 military right now for a yellow player. Matthias also with quite a respectable army, but if he's doing the same thing as the Viper but just has less of it, it's not really going to be too effective. Viper now even switching into Cannon Galleon, and then he can really start to bombard the production facilities of Team Heresy.
How cool is Team Secret here? That they're how much they're, in my view, underreacting to this forward of Eddie. Tato, okay, he's sending some hussars now. The Viper's moving forward with his traps. Maybe they will finally make the go, but it's not looking too great for Doubt here on the land. But Hera, he's not sending too much. He's sending some, but it is getting intercepted.
Yeah, and well, I mean, with the castle there for Doubt, as well as the fully garrisoned TC, Cavalier. Even if Malians have really good Cavalier, they don't have the extra Pierce Armor or HP that Paladins have. So they're going to be taking a lot more arrow fire, a lot more damage from the arrow fire, but Doubt's still going to be losing this castle probably, but yeah, I don't think Viper's trebuchets are anywhere near well enough protected. So I think you're right that they are kind of underreacting to this on the land.
Viper is now slinging Doubt. I'm, by the way, at 41 minutes 10 seconds. Some crossbowmen still from Doubt out here. He doesn't really have a solid land-based approach how to not die here. It's completely shutting down their trade as well. Tato and Viper, they're completely idle with all their trade.
Yeah, and that's obviously a pretty huge deal because Doubt only has 17 military. Like, he's not really contributing a whole lot right here. And yeah, I mean, without access to good trade lines, how can you really sustain yourself in the long run? Like, yeah, Viper has a super scary army now. Tato, somewhat less so, but still with a pretty good army. But how can you sustain it if you don't have all of the trade you need?
Oh, and speaking of bad trade or non-existent trade, something we didn't mention at all. Look at the map of Heresy when they're trading and how bad this one huge wood line is completely blocking everything off here.
Nearly, the solution is quite clear in my eyes, and that's trade cogs. Easy.
Trade costs not too great. Maybe even one to onager shots needed there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. At the top we have longboats against longboats. I have no idea. It looks like more arrows are flying from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. I think the Viper's winning this one.
Viper is going to win this quite heavily. I just quickly had to go to each player's perspective just to double check the longboat numbers. But yeah, Viper has a significant numbers advantage and will be winning this one quite easily.
And she's also in the center with his elite cannon galleons, reinforcing those longboats. And that's just all the center control here. And I have to say, I absolutely love this map. It just is one of the few maps that is the perfect combination between land is super important and water is super important. And yeah, I've seen 2 games now and love both of them.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen 6 games total on this map, and every single one has been really interesting. So it's a shame that experts always ban this map because it's so weird, but yeah, definitely forget the name of whoever created this map, but they did a really great job. It really provides a lot of entertaining games.
Yeah, we'll see more of it in the future, I'm very sure. The Viper is still active here with his longboats, and without water control, there's no chance for Heresy to trade because the woodline is just so awkward. Hera with massive amount of cavalry around. He's sitting at pop 200, got 150 kills in this game, is banking up quite some resources. Is he trying to get back onto water? No, Matthias is redocking the left-hand side. Interesting move.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess I'm kind of missing Tato this game. I feel like, yeah, he's sending in some paladins right now. He had some hussars earlier. I feel like he's been kind of quiet for a while. He's been at pop, near 200 for quite some time, but yeah, let's see if the paladins here will be enough to clean up the remnants of this forward of Eddie. I think it probably will be. Italians, of course, not having access to halberdier. And now looks like Hera's going to be trying to take down Viper's castle with a ton of light cav.
Looks like the Viper even did murder holds here, an upgrade that we don't see too often. Longboats now coming in and out as well. That's a lot of losses for Hera. Even if he kills that castle, I'm not sure if it was so cost efficient in the end.
I don't think Viper has murder holes. Yeah, it was just targeting a light cav that was one tile away.
Okay.
The murder holes dream is, I'm afraid, still quite dead. But yeah, Tato now storming into the base of Hera. He just has nothing here. His entire army's over at Viper's base on the other side of the map. And yeah, that's just going to be the GG move. Just nothing to deal with these paladins. They could just sweep right through Hera's base into the base of the Theus, which is being destroyed by whose woodline is being destroyed by Viper's longboats, and things are just looking, I think, way too grim for Team Heresy.
Oh man, what a weird game. Eddie instantly losing versus Doubt on water, which is quite weird. Italians skiing against Saracens, they're short distance, should normally go into the favorite into the favor of the Italians. But oh boy, we just had the big T90 raid. I hope you had a great time over there. We are still looking at Heresy against Team Secret. First game just finished. We are in the post-game analysis. Game 2 will come soon as well. And what did I want to say? Yeah, and then this weird forward and Doubt not seeing that at all, not reacting. Then the Viper, the first one, losing some villagers. Like, if Eddie knew that, he could have built like 50 army before attacking and could have swiped everyone off. But how could he have known?
I mean, that's like the... you wouldn't underestimate your opponents that much, right?
Yeah, but it's Doubt. Maybe you should.
I guess so. And remember, Secret won this when they invested like these huge palisade walls and then stone walls behind it in every single part of the front of their bases, except the one part where Doubt was too slow to stonewall and then got totally wrecked.
Oh man, then it's all for nothing. What Tato invested there. Oh god.
Once again, Viper plays out of his mind though. Those demo hits, all the longboats, the complete map control, rushing up a castle to deal with the fact that Doubt left a hole in the wall, just doing Viper things. Classic.
Yeah.
And Doubt even getting 9k resources slung. He did nothing on land. Nothing.
Poor game from Doubt, and I would have expected Eddie to win the water there, Italians versus Saracens, but really, I think Eddie played great on land, which is where his strength lies anyway, and Doubt had a pretty poor game, all things considered.
But, Why are you saying, yeah, Eddie did on land and that was good for him? You have so many people on the roster. Why do you have to have Eddie on this like very heavy water map?
Well, that's true. They could have taken land, for example.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
don't
why
know.
not play land?
Yeah.
But
It's
they have
interesting.
6 people in their roster.
Yeah.
Why
Well,
don't we need
5
some
people
Monk
on
Rush
their
on this water
roster.
map?
I don't know, man. I don't know. But we'll be moving on to our second game in just a moment. Thanks T90 for the host again. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the Hidden Cup today. If you didn't see or if you missed the games earlier, the Aftermath versus Suomi games, we're going to be restreaming the stream after this. But maybe you can go back and check the VODs. Check out the game 1 between Aftermath and Suomi. It's probably the best game of the year, possibly the best game I've ever seen, ever, period. Aftermath versus Suomi, game number 1. Go back, check the VODs, because it was sick. So if you missed that, you have to watch it. I swear you will not regret your decision in watching that game. But with that said, we will be going to game 2 between Secret and Heresy next, and that's going to be on Serengeti. You know, a quick reminder of the map pool, actually, because we haven't really looked at this too much detail, but basically, we haven't seen a couple of the maps today. If I'm not mistaken, we have not seen Kilimanjaro, we've not seen Gorge, we've not seen Team Islands, and it's interesting because in the 2v2 stage, we saw those maps. And now we're at 3v3. It seems like teams are prioritizing the Sahara, the desert, the Serengeti, and the Rift Island.
Well, the teams always want to play. Like I remember, like doing the stats for the 2v2, and everyone just wants to play Serengeti and Desert and Sahara because they're pretty much Arabia clones. And everything else kind of falls by the wayside. But it's interesting that we're seeing more Rift Islands than Gorge. I think that's like the big difference we're seeing between the 2v2 and the 3v3.
Yeah, and I think the reason for that, by the way, might be because Rift Island hadn't maybe been figured out. Maybe teams didn't have so many strats for last weekend. But this weekend, they've had more time to think about the map and look at it in more detail. By the way, I mean, we had that comparison before about Mateus and... hold on a second, let me bring that up. Mateus and Tato. Mateus, that last game, he played really well. I think he did a really good job, at least, you know, propping his team up on the water. All in all, I think Heresy had a great shot that last game, but in the end, I mean, they just couldn't pull it through, and the overall victory on water from Viper won them that game. Of course, Serengeti will be coming up next. So without further ado, I think we should go into game number 2 and waste no more time talking about maps and civs and teams and get to the games, get to the action.
Sounds great. Serengeti, another, map that we have seen several times. Very aggressive, tough to wall. We will expect all the, well, in-your-face civilizations, Malians, Franks, Indians. We will see a lot of early aggression here, for sure.
Absolutely. And if you're new here, don't forget to leave us a follow on the Escape AoE Twitch channel. We're streaming all of the Escape Champions League, which is this year-long tournament, which is a $60,000 prize pool as well. So lots and lots of Age of Empires action on this channel for the next 9 months, I'd say, right now. All right. Anyway, I've got to load up the game again because it crashed, but we're going in now, and I'll let you guys take over.
All right, everybody. Give Zach a second to load into the game, but yeah, this is potentially the last game of the day. Heresy will need to win the next 2 if they hope to advance past Team Secret and make it to the semifinals. And yeah, it should be a, you know, really solid game. Last game was really interesting. We've had a ton of great games today. I've been casting for almost 7 hours now. So yeah, it's just been an amazing day of Age of Empires. And hopefully Zach's in the game right now, so I will go ahead and introduce the players and the teams. So we do have a bit of a substitution going on for both teams. Spawning in the south flank for Team Heresy, we'll have Timotheus in the blue as the Mongols. His pocket will be his brother Matthias, and he'll be the Cyan Franks. And the north flank will be Hera as the green Ethiopians. If they win this, they'll of course move on. It will be Team Secret with the Viper as the Yellow Malians in the north flank. Kato in the red as the Mongols in the pocket. And finally, Jordan 23 making his first appearance today as the Purple Berbers in the south. Nilly, what's up, man?
Doubt benched.
Feels doubt, man.
Yeah, well, he has to be shown his limits. And well, that last game, probably the Viper said, "Oh, Doubt, go smoke some shisha, and we will play the big boys." Not time for Slam yet. It's not the finals, but it's time for Jordan.
And you gotta let Doubt practice for the NAC2 qualifiers.
Maybe that. I think those games might have been before the announcement. I'm not 100% sure of that. But yeah, he obviously knew before that. Okay, so let's take a look. We see people looming quite early here, at least Timotheus is, because obviously those elephants are a bit more aggressive than the boars, but also should be pretty lowerable. Let's take a look into positions. So at the top, we have Ethiopians against Vipers Malians. Should be pretty heavy archer skirm composition from both players, I'd assume. Kind of important that Hera is mixing in skirmishes here as well. I think archers only shouldn't really work. And then the big question, Mongols against Franks pocket position. Which one is the better one? Probably Franks. Shadow might need to go into a lot of camels here. Franks, I want to see a lot of aggression from them. A lot of scouts early on abuse the factor that you have more HP, and then that beautiful Frankish castle age knight eco.
Yeah, certainly. And then got the south matchup of Mongols versus Berbers. This one is pretty sad for the Mongols if we do go to the late game, which during the last time we saw this map is not at all out of the question. And I think in the early game might slightly favor Mongols with a faster uptime, but if we're just seeing standard archer play because of the fact that Timotheus is on the flank, probably going to be fairly even. And I'm definitely interested, I think, to see Heresy put on some aggression. I think that is their best shot in this game.
Absolutely. Trying to catch the Viper off guard. That's honestly like one of the few weaknesses of the Viper. Maybe some misreactions to very super aggressive early guys, M&A aggression or something like that. Maybe to take Jordan on a wrong foot here. He has a bad far away woodline, so Jordan could have some losses here. And we see some quite early feudal age timings. We see pop 19 here from our... No, is it pop 18 and Tato didn't loom? Pop 18 and Tato didn't loom out of the pocket position here. Those are quite nice uptimings. You see 5 players before the 10-minute mark, 2 players before 8:30.
Yeah, wow, this is some quick feudal age times. And I actually think this is a good place to point out that when Secret lost in the first round in the 2v2 to SY, what was the thing that took down Viper and Slam? It was a ton of very well executed early aggression that really just, didn't let Team Secret get to that scary late game point where especially the Viper can just totally take over an entire game. So yeah, let's see the aggression this game.
Yeah, I'm up for it as well. Let's take a look. We now see here sending 3 villagers on gold, so that will indeed be archers. We see the scouts from Timotheus and Matthias, so that should be a nice composition. Jordan, he is not on gold, so that will be double scouts and double scouts against archer at the top. A lot of units will run around. Walling your villagers here is just super important.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Viper going with the Drush is going to be arriving at the base of Hera. Does have a quick wall over on his gold miners. Woodline looks like going to be attempting that as well. What do you think of the Drush idea from Viper? As he will be our last player up to the feudal age by a mile.
Well, will be Drush into Flash, right? He's buying himself some aggression, always gets map control, prevents some walling. It's just so nice because against the forward, he will perform better. And this map would have been bad against the forward. You see, double gold, double stone, basically all in one screen. If we see some M&A forward aggression, the Viper could have been in some big troubles. That won't happen if he controls the game by drushing.
Yeah, of course. I think that is totally reasonable. And also, Hera losing a villager right away, and second archery range is going to be delayed because of it. We have Tato and Viper syncing up their armies, and oh, this is a really painful start for our green player.
3 losses here, not a single kill. Okay, at least Matthias is around and can do something. At the same time, we have some scouts running on. Timothy is now in the wood line of Tato as well, who is reacting somewhat in time. Jordan was kind of out of position, sending his scouts over now, and Tato is walling his villagers.
Yeah, Tato did end up losing a single villager there. Not really going to be the end of the world, just a little bit of an annoyance. Might actually lose another one. This lady trying to build a farm. Looks like nice quick wall for our red player Tato. And yeah, should be pretty fine for him.
Viper, by the way, is going Drush FC here. And I said, well, that will be tricky. His map is so open. I want to see a defensive tower here. Could just be so tricky. And now he's walling without really protecting himself against archers. This is super risky what the Viper is doing, and I think even sloppy.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to you say it's probably a drush in the flesh because this map is so hard to defend, and I'm thinking, well, Nilly's talking from a point of logic, but I feel like Viper's probably just going to fast castle. And yeah, Viper going to be super open right now. He also has a hole. Okay, he's going to be patching it with an archery range, but as you're saying, Nilly, as soon as these archers from Hera show up, it's going to be a pretty big problem. Going to lose a villager and have his second archery range tonight. This is really not a great spot for...
Oh, you see him dancing around because he didn't have the wood for the tower here. And that tower, I think that tower isn't good enough.
No.
I think now Hera should send some villagers forward and build another aggressive tower. The Viper, yeah, he will be safe against the archers, but that won't protect the gold against another aggressive tower. I think full-out aggression into the Viper's face should be the strategy of the Heresy team here.
I'd really like to see a tower from Hera, like right on the hill, like just to the south of the Viper's gold, starts covering Viper's stone mines and gives him the hill advantage. And I think that'd be really good if he were to do that. Tato trying to come in to support his teammate with a few scouts, but they're totally unupgraded. And yeah, it's also going up against the Theus' Frank scouts with the extra HP. This is actually not looking so great for Secret.
Yeah, and the Viper, yeah, congratulations, you have 4 archers now, but can't afford any of the upgrades. Has fletching. Will they try to go for the jump through the TC? Would have been super risky. Could have gotten gated in there. The box was probably ready for the Viper. And let's see, Tato is still sending more scouts over. Could this be the spot where they go for Tato and do some guaranteed damage over there? But then they're giving the Viper the time to get onto gold, so I don't like that too much. I think pressuring the Viper would have been the better choice.
I definitely agree with that. Viper still doesn't have an army. He's just now getting double bit axe, just now getting the crossbow upgrade, and I think Viper could have kind of fallen apart there. Kind of, again, thinking back to B2B2 with Viper as the Yellow Ethiopians once again on Gorge versus Yo, just kind of killed him with archers. I feel like if they put the pressure onto Viper once again, it could have worked as well, but still, looks like Tato, not exactly too much better defended, already losing a couple of villagers to Timotheus' scouts.
And that's now triple army here from our Heresy boys, so nice team play over here. And we will see Tato building another tower, and he's just so good at defending this. We have seen him play so well, especially on Battle of Africa, where he was a slinger, always nice tower defense, and made it happen with very little army. Let's take a look at the other side. The Viper now going for the aggression. He is coming in with Botkin arrow. Can Matthias clear this up? I think he should.
Well, it's always going to be a matter of, if ever these archers can attack the crossbows of Viper, of course their way greater numbers will be able to kill them, but Viper, one of the best, if not the best Viper players in the world, probably not going to let that happen, but you can't do that against scouts. But nonetheless, Hera will still be losing another villager there, and yeah, I think maybe Viper going to lose a crossbow? Nope.
Oh god, he didn't even lose one single crossbow, man. was not the greatest engagement in the forest there. And oh, now just getting debated, and it's looking pretty ugly for Hera all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's just the power of the crossbow and bodkin arrow in the castle age. It's just almost impossible for archers to ever force an engagement. And now with Jordan coming in to support his teammate, he has bloodlines and +1 defense. Also about to hit the castle age, providing a nice little meat shield. And, well, looks like Hera might finally be able to get enough kills, but he's already lost so many units, only 10 kills to 22 deaths for a green player.
Oh man, and he is one villager behind, and he just clicked up to Castle Age. The Viper is just in full dominant position here. Just so lovely how he made that happen again. It felt like an aggressive tower could have been done here, but nice defensive play from Tedo, not taking too many losses here. Jordan now going on to a monastery as well, and a stable. No, double stable. So that will be Mass Knights against Timotheus, who is now up as well. We'll add some camels. Another attack into the base of Hera, and he's losing yet another villager.
Oh boy, like things just seem to be slowly snowballing out of control for Hera. He's just at such a low villager count. And he's going to not be able to catch back up because he still has to get half of Castle Age. And yeah, I think part of the problem is his forward lumber camp. But probably just going to try and hold on. He has been bailed out in the short run. But the question is, can they really bring the damage to Viper at this point?
Wouldn't really know why. Let's take a look. They're even moving out before the upgrades, but they have a lot of army here. Matthäus has bloodlines from the Franks and +2 defense, losing 3 crossbowmen while moving out here. I'm at 23 minutes, 30 seconds, and the Viper, well, he needs to make some magic happen if he doesn't want to lose all his crossbowmen here. But we see Matthäus coming in and he's chasing it down.
Matthäus with a ton of knights right now, and Jordan trying to send in his...
Why is he splitting this off and giving the Viper the perfect position? Yeah, how does he do it over and over again? Matthäus, that could have been so much better fight. Was trying to protect the crossman there of Hera. Maybe they could have waited another 30 seconds. Nice team play there that Jordan debated a bit. The Viper, quite low military numbers at the moment though.
That's true, but Viper also has gotten up to 3 TCs. You know, Viper, being super greedy. And although he did take a very good engagement that fight, you know, as best as he could, it's still a fight he lost. So he needs to hold on right now. He is fully walled, I believe, but gonna, I think, need to probably get the support of one of his teammates to help out. Also, fight happening in the south, but way more camels for Jordan over our blue player Timotheus. Berbers with the nice cheap camels. And yeah, this is not looking good right now for Heresy.
Jordan with a nice KD, a 15-5, might even get some more kills here against those camels. Make that 18-5. Solid stuff. Now adding some more TCs. Yeah, a bit exposed there with the gold at the front. Would love to see another TC over there. But I think we first need to see what's going in front of the base here of the Viper. Looks like Hera is trying to siege up there.
Yeah, this hill right to the south of Viper's base is going to be super crucial for either team to control, as it just represents a easy way to start attacking all of these valuable resources of Viper. And right now, Viper forced downhill, and I'd love to see some sort of, you know, forward something from Hera just to help better secure control, because he really needs to start applying pressure to Viper, otherwise he's just going to keep falling further and further behind. But in comes Jordan with a ton of camels.
Yeah, and the camels won't do too well against the crossmen, but you see perfect play, all the camels focusing down the knights. Viper is only going for the crossmen. Perfect team play here by our Team Secret. 3v2ing. Timothy is completely out of position. Obviously, with Mongols couldn't keep up the numbers, they're camels against camels, and then the perfect team play. It's looking good for Team Secret.
Oh yeah, it's just every single fight is just looking better and better and better for our team on the left. And, you know, we really should expect the better team play from Secret. I mean, these guys, under, of course, the Tyrant tag, they've been playing together for so much longer than have our Heresy team, with the exception of, you know, Matthäus and Timotheus, but that's only 2/3 of the team. So definitely much more likely that Secret's going to have the better team play.
Okay, let's take a look. Now moving in with all the knights. Jordan just dominating this game so well. He keeps up the production. Overall numbers, well, 20 more for Team Secret, but that's just so much army here in the front. Military numbers, nice advantage here for our... Well, we can still call them tyrants, right? Even though they aren't in Team Tyrant, but they are tyrants.
They are tyrants of the scene. Oh wow, even a bunch of monks coming in here for Timotheus, but those guys are looking quite exposed. 3 instantly getting sniped by Viper, who does have the ballistics upgrade. And yeah, talk about a snowball. This could be quite painful right here. We have all 3 players of Team Heresy represented here. And yeah, it's going to be a big old clash here on this hill.
Oh, another monk down. The Viper is just so good at sniping this. Hill control still for Heresy though. And now it seems like they want to take this engagement. Somewhat questionable for me. And we see Heresy is pushing back the Secret players here. What is the plan at the moment? The Viper finding an okay spot here. Tries to go for the out micro. Hera is chasing this down, but now they're losing this hill or giving up the hill. Jordan going for the killer trade cut.
Oh man, he just wanted to make friends, man. Poor trade cart, dying a very painful, sad death. And something that might not be the most important factor, but still I think is worth mentioning here, is that up until like the middle of that fight, Team Heresy had better upgrades than Secret for both of the cavalry making players. And then it was even as far as Viper versus Hera, so that might have been one of the reasons that Secret didn't feel like they could have taken that fight. But yeah, both teams deciding to disengage, but I would say that's, in the end, probably a slight win for Heresy, which they need.
Oh, they need so many of those. And even if we think about like Imperial Age compositions, Berbers should just be so good. Malians, obviously, as well. Let's see what the Franks can do. But first of all, we have the engagement here. Nice surround against the Viper. Jordan was a bit out of position with all his camels.
Yeah, definitely. Viper getting totally surrounded. That's not what you want from your crossbow player. And this could potentially be exactly what Team Heresy was looking for. Secret's on the run.
Oh boy, what a perfect engagement here by Heresy. They have been so patient, camped that hill, really built that army, and then went in for the kill when they saw, okay, Jordan is a bit out of the position. We killed one trade cut. From now on, it can only go up for us. The Viper on the way to Imperial Age, but just lost all his army. Military count 0.
So fun fact, military is pretty good if you want to win an Age of Empires game. However, the castle here is just so well positioned for Viper. I think it's going to be really hard to push into his base unless they choose to go around to the north side, and where Viper is looking quite exposed in terms of his wood line. So I think that might not be a bad idea, and that does appear to be the game plan. But right now, all 3 players of Team Heresy, armies are together, and I wonder if possibly that could leave an opportunity for a counterattack, but it looks like Jordan is going to... No, actually, no, Jordan will be going for a counterattack, so let's see how this pans out.
Makes sense. The Viper will get a second castle up here. Looks pretty good. He is transitioning into stable units as well, by the way. Hera is going up, and that's quite surprising to me. Those 2 guys, where we thought, okay, the most fighting will be, went both onto massive crossbows, lost some villagers, and those 2 are up to Imperial Age with reasonable villager numbers. Overall, numbers are quite even, I have to say. Small, well, military advantage here for Team Heresy, but they aren't really using it at the moment, and they are just running in, like, into castle, into the next castle, and where's their next move? Another castle.
Trying to stay alive if you're Matthias, because he is having a huge raid occur in his base, losing quite a few villagers right there. Jordan realizing that, okay, if all 3 armies of Heresy are by Viper, that means that their own bases are probably pretty lightly defended. And yeah, this is not exactly where you want to be if you're Matthias. And as you were saying, really not able to capitalize on that military advantage, just kind of forced to walk back.
Oh man, yeah, and that's not too great. Camels now coming home trying to defend, but you don't really want to have the Mongols player going for massive amount of camels anymore. You want to have the transition into Elite Mongolites. We have seen that earlier. MBL played pretty well with them. We had Roomstock and they got some kills. Such a cost-efficient unit, especially if you don't have SO out, and no Imperial Camels this time either. So it feels like Tato with the earlier Mangudai production and transition could be in a nice spot here.
Yeah, certainly. 2 castles already for our red player. And that is probably enough to really start Mangudai production, though hello. Surprisingly effective little raid here from Matthias, killing 10 or so villagers from Viper, maybe even a little bit more. Yes, Viper still has over 110 villagers, but that's a little bit sloppy from Viper.
So 0 military from him, just crazy here. And well, it's just time for regrouping. And now finally he's starting with the Cavaliers, is getting all the upgrades done there. And you see military units, 1 big fight, and then it stayed roughly at that level. And yeah, they need to keep up the production. Hera is getting all the upgrades on his Arbalest, and they need to go for the big attack pretty soon. They are just lacking siege.
Yeah, definitely. A game could still go either way, but Matthias is going to be the last player up to the Imperial Age by quite a decent margin. And I think it's going to be a matter of, can they hold on until really Matthias catches up in terms of army and upgrades and all that stuff, because he has fallen quite a ways behind due to that raid from Jordan. But I don't think that Secret's going to give them the time. We've got a big old fight going to be occurring, and as you were mentioning earlier, Nilly, Mongol camels really kind of pale in comparison to Berber camels.
So much more expensive, 1 less upgrade, it's just ugly for them. What can you really do? Well, you want to have the elite Mangudai. Yeah, he's getting another castle up now, but the transition will be so much slower. This will get just tricky, and Jordan, he is playing way better than I expected in this one. Mass camels, nice boom, never really took damage, was there when he was needed, and he is pressuring Timotheus heavily.
Yeah, definitely. Jordan's been playing extremely well this game, and I mean, this is just from what I've been observing, but as far as Jordan's level of play recently, it seems like so long as he's not like the target of a ton of coordinated aggression, if he's kind of left to his own devices, he can totally, go where he's needed, have a nice boom, and get to the Imperial Age with a nice army comp. And yeah, he's got 53 camels right now. That is not something that's easy to deal with.
And Timotheus is not dealing with that at all. He's just sending all his camels to the top, trying to protect the Arbalest against Viper's potential attack. But Viper, he is now going into champ cards even, and those are great against Arbalest, great against camels as well. So nice tech switch there. And still, no real reaction against the big Jordan raid here.
Yeah, I mean, really, I think that's just been the story of this game, is just everything's been focused towards the north of the map, and it's just totally left the bases of Timotheus and Matthias both very exposed. And like, how do you deal with all of these nearly fully upgraded Berber camels? Yeah, you can start sending in some pikemen, but those are always going to be fairly slow, and there's no way to really stop the camels from doing at least a pretty good amount of damage. Everything comes down, I think, to this push onto Viper right now from Team Heresy in the north.
Let's see. Elite Mangudai of Tato. Viper is now continuing his tag into champion. Second defense upgrade is coming in. Longsword Man. Tag now finished. So going for the full champion line here. More tags from Jordan coming around though. At the moment, no siege used against Timotheus though. That's why Timotheus is kind of staying at a reasonable population.
Yeah, and that's a lot of Arbalests from Hera. And, well, whoa, I think that's definitely a mistake for Tato to try and engage that army without the support of Viper.
He was just sniping the bombard cannons, and that's buying them so much time.
Totally missed that. Sorry, Nelly. But yeah, Viper, with the switch into the infantry line, it's kind of awkward for him because, well, he was already planning on making the switch into cavalry. He got like Farimba, Cavalier, all those sorts of upgrades, and then he has to do a total 180 in terms of tech, and that just requires a lot of time to be bought. But Tato, with the snipes on those bombard cannons, will end up buying the time there.
Well, but the tech choice, actually, him showing that tech forced Timotheus to send 30 camels over, and that's indirectly killing Timotheus now, because he is just having so much army always there. And I said, okay, Hera, he has a good army, he needs a lot of siege now. I didn't mean tacking into chemistry, getting to bomber cannons out, getting to bomber cannons sniped. He is just simply not advancing fast enough here. We needed a big ram push.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, you know, kind of what we've been saying for a while now is Heresy, they need to make something happen. They're giving Secret all the time in the world to get the exact army they want with the economies they need to produce them. But here we go, Viper coming in here with these champions almost fully upgraded, starting to engage a little bit before +4 defense came in. But will that be enough? Rams now coming in here from Tato, going to be soaking up a ton of Arbalest arrow fire. And I think this should probably be the nail in the coffin, and it will be. GG, Secret going to be advancing 2-0.
Oh boy, and how close was the score for all the Tyrants in the end there as well? All Team Secret players, all around 11k there. And
Viper's actually going to be salty that he ended up at the bottom. You know, he always plays for top score.
Oh, as we all do. As we all should, at least.
Badge of honor.
Rip. Was that 7 score behind Tato?
Yep.
Should have scouted 1% more of the map. Come on.
Hera, he's normally so good at playing really aggressively and forcing people to make mistakes there. And the Viper, I think he played this wrong at the start. But Hera wasn't able to finish him off.
No, he wasn't. And yeah, I wonder if this would, you know, maybe cause Hera to want to leave this team, because it's just doesn't seem like a good fit for him.
Well, as it turns out,
More.
Hera is actually going to be playing with Aftermath for the rest of the tournament now. So he did indeed end up switching teams. He's actually gone over to Aftermath, and Heresy will be missing Hera from their roster as he makes that switch at the end of the 3v3 stage. And obviously this is the end of the 3v3 stage for Heresy as they go 2-0. But obviously, I mean, going up against Team Secret in the first round, that's always going to be tough. There's going to be situations where they go up against other teams. That's still going to be tough. I mean, BZK, VNA, not necessarily performing the best in the scoreboard, but still very solid teams. But, you know, Heresy have earned their spot here, and although they're going to be tough games, at the very least, I hope they can take it as a learning experience and, in general, just, you know, a motivation to practice and keep working at it, because obviously they have potential. Obviously, they deserve the 8th spot in the league, and they're going to see what they can do with it. They've got a long time ahead of them. Obviously, the Escape Champions League will be we'll be seeing another 10 stages after this. There's 14 stages in total. The 3v3 stage is the 4th stage. And obviously that was the last game of the day, but not the last game of this 3v3 series, because if we take a look at the brackets on your screen now, you can see they were just the quarterfinals, and we'll have the semi-finals and the grand finals, best of 5s, next Saturday on this channel, and probably on some other channels too, but I don't know which ones yet. And that's going to be streamed by T90, and he's going to be joined by Killer B, and he's also going to be joined by Turkman as well, Barbecue Turkman. So those guys will be doing the casting next weekend, the Saturday the 6th of October, for Aftermath versus Secret, Frantic versus SY, and then the grand finals next Saturday as well, all starting at 14 GMT right here. So make sure you follow this channel, and while you're at it, make sure you follow Nilly and Ornlu as well. Both of their channels are linked in the chat, but that's Nilly_AOE and Ornlu_AOE as well. So make sure you go follow those guys. As I say, the links are in the chat as well. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream today. We had some amazing games. And like I said, if you missed the Suomi versus Aftermath Game 1, go back, watch the VOD. You can watch it on our VODs page right here. It's going to be uploaded to our YouTube channel later in the week. But you have to see that game. It was one of the best games of the day, of the year, of my life. It was awesome.
It was pretty good. It was a real pleasure to cast.
Yeah, and you guys did a great job as well, keeping it together for that long. It was a long game.
Hey, it was worth it, man. Casting for what, 8 hours now almost?
Yeah, this is the longest stream we've had actually so far in the ECL, just because that series was so long. It's crazy.
I couldn't do it without Nilly carrying during tech issues.
Oh yeah, that was unfortunate for us.
Yeah, well, you know, it happens. It does unfortunately happen. Now, let me just real quick here. I'm going to see if I can... This is strange. It looks like Streamlabs isn't working properly. Oh, there we go. It is now. I just want to do some shout outs real quick to those that have subscribed and such and supported the channel. The Pico earlier on donating $15. He said, best format, go Suomi. Thank you to you. And of course, your donation is split among the casters and admins. So I'm sure everybody appreciates that as well. Thank you to Slickster, Sogom, Oxnall, Fish, Vega, Ravi, Ratanjoti for the subs. Your support is much appreciated as well. And of course, I mean, this tournament, it is sponsored by Microsoft. We have got a $60,000 prize pool, which is, of course, that's huge. But your support goes a long way to support the admins and pay the casters and, you know, allow us to put on this show well, not every Saturday, but most Saturdays of the year. So we really appreciate that. It means a lot to us. And we hope you enjoyed the games as well. Fantastic games today, really. Thanks again, Nilly and Ornlu. Really appreciate you guys coming over to cast. And thanks to Memp for casting with me earlier in the day as well. And as I say, you can follow Nilly and Ornlu on their respective channels. But we'll be continuing next weekend with the semi-finals and the grand finals. Stay tuned for that. Also, if you're interested in joining the prediction competition, it's not too late. You have missed some, but if you go to the escape.gg website, that's escape.gg/predictions, you can make predictions on the matches, bet fantasy coins, win fantasy coins, and try to make your way up the leaderboard and take that top spot. It's all for fun, but anyone is welcome to take part and see if they can win some bets on the fantasy prediction competition. Why am I a noob, Travis? What have I missed? Oh, it's because, okay, yeah. I'm a caster and an admin, I guess. That's true. That's true. Anyway, guys, any final words before we head out here?
I'm excited for next week, and I've seen AM in Secret Boast Train, so they will bring something to the table.
Yeah, I'm just super hyped. Thanks for having me on, as always. And yeah, I'll be casting that too, just because I'm a madman. I just want to cast everything.
Do it.
Just too hyped.
Good stuff. All right. Well, before we go, just a reminder to everyone, if you want some Age of Empires to watch tomorrow, you can, of course, tune in to T90's Hidden Cup, which will be resuming tomorrow. He'll be casting that with Dave on his channel. That's T90 Official. And that will be all day tomorrow, I think, from 2 p.m. GMT, if I'm not mistaken. No, 1 p.m. GMT, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, I'm sure you know about that, and I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. And of course, we have Nilly's Apartment Cup 2, which was announced this was it this week or last week? It was this week. Which we're super excited for. Yeah, which we're super excited for. It's going to be next February, and it's going to be another Nilly's Apartment Cup, guys. I mean, that's amazing.
What more could you want in life?
Pretty much. So yeah, with that, we're going to love you and leave you. Thank you for watching. We'll throw someone a host, but we will run a rerun of the stream as well. Let me just find who's streaming right now. We can throw someone a lovely host here. Who have we got? I guess we can go host... we go host MBL, actually. Let's throw MBL a host, and you guys can go watch him. So, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.